Narai Juku, and Post Stations by Katie Wells. We're going to focus on post stations first here. So post stations are called shukuba, and they were developed by Tokugawa Ieyasu. This is during the Edo period. They are located on the Edo 5 routes, which we have in this picture right over here. And they were used for travelers to rest while traveling around the nation. So this would be the daimyos and government officials along with their samurai as they traveled for the 6 months that they would be in Edo, and 6 months they'd be in their own domains. And it was actually originally created with the idea of transporting goods horseback, which later developed into the stations being major train stations, and some of them being local hotspots for historical preservation. So some of the facilities you may find in these post stations, one is called the Toyaba, which is the general offices that help manage the post towns. So this would be where you would find many of the people in charge of the post towns. So they would be there to help regulate the post towns and make sure that nothing was going wrong and that people were traveling safely. And then you have two different types of facilities that would be kind of like hotels. So you have the hojin, which are only for elites. So this would be rest areas and lodgings for samurai and court nobles. They weren't for business though. They were just large residencies like hotels that post towns had often designated for only the elites in society. So that would be the government officials, samurai, and the daimyo. And then you have waki hojin. These are facilities for general travelers also. So this houses elites and general travelers as long as there are vacancies. So if the waki hojins were full, general travelers could not stay there. But if there were some vacancies like hotels, they were allowed to stay there. And then you have two very different types of facilities. So you have the hatago, which were accommodations for the general travelers, and they served food. But you also have a kichinyado, which were facilities also for general travelers, but they did not serve food. So the difference between those two, the hatago served food, and then the kichinyado did not serve food. We have also a chaya, which were rest areas that sold tea, food, and alcohol. So these are kind of like rest stops in modern times on highways. So where you would pull over your car, get out, and there might be a restaurant, or there's usually restrooms or vending machines. Some cases restaurants if they had a large rest area. So it's kind of like that, but this was during the Edo period. You had general shops, which would be for merchants and stuff. So people wanted to buy like souvenirs, or if they were going to Edo, they could probably buy something there as well to present to the shogun. You also have a kosatsu, which were the signboards in which the shogun's proclamations were posted. So this would be where the general public could see what the shogun was declaring as law, or where it was putting into place for areas or just in general news. So some of the post stations in the modern era, so we have some that were designated as architectural preservation sites. We have several of them in the Nagano prefecture. We have one in the Fukushima prefecture, which would be the Ochi Juku. We have Uno-juku, which is in the Nagano, Narai Juku, Sumago Juku, which are also two that are in the Nagano prefecture, and then Narai Juku is what I'm going to be focusing on later on. Seikai Juku, which is in the Mei prefecture, and Kumagawa Shuku, which is in the Fukai prefecture. Some of the ones that aren't designated as architectural preservation sites, but still are known as post stations, are the Harafuku Shuku, Ohara Shuku, Chizu Shuku, Kyoanose Juku, Uchino Shuku, Shiota Shuku, and Ishibe Juku. So Narai Juku is one of the post stations, and it was developed during the Edo period. It is located in the Nagano prefecture, which is right here. and it's in the middle of the island of Japan. And the Nagano Prefecture was deemed to be the middle, or kind of like the meeting place between Tokyo and, or then Edo, which is now Tokyo, and Kyoto. So this would be where the two cities would meet, which is kind of funny because it's not exactly in the middle on the map of Japan. So historical recognition for Narai Juku, it is a important preservation district for groups of historic buildings. This is because, as the picture suggests, it has a historical row of Edo period houses along the street. So a lot of Narai Juku is designed as in the modern period of Edo, or not modern period, but during the Edo period. it, I'll just restart that. So some historical recognition, it is an important preservation district for groups of historic buildings. So basically, like the photo suggests, it has a historic row of Edo period houses along the street. So as much as it is during modern times right now, Narai Juku is one of the places in Japan that is still designed to how it was back in the Edo period. So a lot of it is historically preserved, and it is used to showcase the history of Japan back in the Edo period. It is also a national designated archaeological preservation site. So Japanese archaeologists tend to preserve Narajukus because it has such a historical reference back to the Edo period, and because we have a street like this that is lined with Edo period houses, they preserve it to save their history. So to get to Narajuku, if you're coming from Tokyo, you may take the Azusa Limited Express, which is this red line right here. You're gonna get you're gonna get to Shinjuku from Tokyo. You're gonna take it all the way up. You can take it to the last stop, which is Matsumoto, but if you don't want to, you can get off at Shiojiri. You're gonna get on the local train, and you're gonna take it all the way down to the Narai stop, which is gonna be the second stop if you're gonna get on at Shiojiri, but it's gonna be the third one if you're gonna get to Matsumoto. And if you want to go to Nagagoya first, you're going to take the Tokaido Shinkansen train. You're going to take it all the way to Nagagoya from Tokyo. You're going to go there, and you're going to get on the local train again. You're going to take it past, You're going to take it past the Nakasugawa stop. You're going to go past the Nagagiso stop, the Kisi Fukujima stop, and you're going to get to the Narai. So you're going to go past 3 stops. And the 4th stop, you're going to get off. So this is a map of Narajuku. So we're going to start with some of the basics. So right here is your station. So this is going to be the train line right here. This is going to be the local one, the one that I show you back over here. So this is the local train right here, coming down this way. So this, coming from this direction, you'll be coming from Hirawasa or Shiojiri. And then this way, or you're going to be coming from Nakasugawa or Yabuhara. So Yabuhara, Nakasugawa, and you're going to come from Soijiri over here, or Hiroshima, or Hirasawa, my bad. And then this river right here is going to be the Naragawa River. This big road right here is their national road number 19. So it's kind of like our I-87 here in the US. So it's one of their major roads that you can travel through. So we're going to look at the top now. So we have a museum right here next to a shrine. So this is called the Shizumi Jina Shrine. After that, you're going to have the official notice board and some water. Masugatas right here. We have another Masugata over here, right there. You're gonna have a traditional craft center here, so this is where you're gonna find a lot of merchants. You have Upper Town here, Middle Town here, and this is gonna be Lower Town over here. So you're gonna have a couple temples along here. So you're gonna have the Joryuji temple. You're gonna have the Chiozenji temple right here. You're gonna have the right here, the Daihoji temple there. Right here, you're gonna have the Honenji temple. And let me just move that over, sorry. You're gonna have the Senniji temple right here. And for shrines, you're gonna have the Hachiman shrine right here, and there's some stone statues over next to that one. And then you're gonna have the Shinmengu shrine right here. Sorry that if I butchered that. You're gonna have the Wakamatsu-sama shrine right there. And then you're gonna have a couple different bridges here. So you have these two larger bridges. These are gonna be for cars. And then you have these smaller ones here. These are only for people who walk. So this is for people who would be walking along. You're gonna have a park right there. So you're gonna have Fure Park right here. So that's gonna be next to the railroad and next to the river. And then you're gonna have a couple of houses. So this is called right over here. This is called the Nakamura's house. Over here is called the Tanzaka's house. And then you have no more houses. There it is. And then right here, you're gonna have a brewer Suginimori. So this is where you're gonna find some alcohol. And then right here is a crossing. So this is gonna be Narai Juku, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I hope to enjoy visiting it with all of you.